Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be talking about what is Fall Guys in 2026. So, Fall Guys was a game originally invented in August 2020. Well, there's been beta testing for a couple of years before it came out on August 2020, but I don't need to get into all that. So, what has Fall Guys become in 2026? Today, I will be talking about 5 things that I think build up what Fall Guys has become in 2026. The first thing, let's talk about what Fall Guys originally was when it started to what it has become now. So, on its release in August of 2020, it was, just a game where a bunch of jelly bean little guys fight for what we call the crown. Each lobby could take up to 60 players in it, and you could get into a party with maximum of 4 people. It was pretty fun at first, but like every game start, there were problems, and the main problem for me at the start of Fall Guys was the amount of hackers, people that were just like cheating, flying around the map. But after a couple months, they caught onto this problem and they took care of it. Then Season 2 came out, and then Season 3 came out later on, and then so on. They would, each new season that came out, add a new theme to the game. Honestly, and then Season 5 came out, right? Season 5 was probably my least favorite season, honestly. It's when the downfall started happening, I believe, like the real downfall. Like, we know that around the time Season 2 was going to come out, Among Us came out, and that kind of like took away Fall Guys' popular game thing. But Fall Guys was still a pretty alive game. But in Season 5, like when Lily Leapers was introduced, there was like an advantage for PC players that was like discovered, how FPS on the PC is higher or something, and that kind of like made more people get it on PC, and honestly I hated that. I'm so glad that's not an issue today. Then free to play came out, and that sort of made the game more alive again. The skins were really cool. I think I kind of forgot what happened in that whole period. I remember in the second season of free to play, they released this really cool skin, one of my favorite skins by the way, the Ultimate Idol. But we're getting sidetracked here. And then fast forward like about a year later or something, and in 2023, I forgot what month, I think like around June or May. I should have really done my research, haha. They brought creative, and creative mode was actually pretty good. However, this character named Digi said that she only had race modes for us and survival would come out soon. Now, in my opinion, honestly, fire Digi, bruh. I honestly do not like Digi. Digi is like, I don't know, bruh. Like, why couldn't survival come out with races? But I'm not gonna criticize them. Also, I forgot to mention, around free to play or something, Epic Games took over for Fall Guys, and honestly, that kind of just killed Fall Guys for some reason, which I don't know why, but a lot of people say some stuff about Epic Games that I'm not gonna say on here because I don't want to get canceled. So after Survival came out, which by then too many people had gotten impatient and had quit the game because of that, like a lot of my friends were saying, bro, they still did not release Survival, I'm actually gonna quit the game and stuff. Survival was a disappointment though when it came out, honestly. I forgot when it came out, no one really remembers that. Honestly, I made one Survival map and then I like stopped. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of suck at making maps. This is why in the background, not playing my own map. I'm playing my friends' maps because they are better. Then, there's a lot of stuff happened for Fall Guys, and right now, I think Fall Guys is honestly probably a lot better than it was before. I think its worst point in time was when the PC players had a major advantage. Fall Guys has kind of fixed that problem. They had a lot of new physics. They released on mobile. They did a lot of amazing stuff. And as you guys can obviously tell, I did not script out this before saying it because of how much I'm messing up my words and grammar. So you guys can call me out on that in the comments, but please don't, bro. I'm trying my best here. Alright, now let's get into the second thing that I want to say. And why do players miss OG Fall Guys? yeah, that's the second topic. Of course, I had to talk about this because I have heard so many times from other people, oh, I miss OG Fall Guys. And from so many YouTubers as well saying they miss OG Fall Guys. Now, I honestly don't know why people miss OG Fall Guys so much. I'm going to be real with you guys, and don't hate on me, but I don't really miss OG Fall Guys. Like, well, of course, like, the only thing I do miss, I guess, is that we could have 60 players and that they decreased it to 40, but I forgot really when that update happened. And honestly, I think Fall Guys is better with having less players allowed in the lobbies. Now, for custom games, I do think they should still allow 60 players though, because I sometimes do complain when like a custom gets full because of how they lowered it to like 20 people. Why did they do that? I don't know. But honestly, how do I say this? Yeah, I like the way Fall Guys is now. They fixed a lot of their problems. There are definitely a lot less bugs than before. Also, I like how the new physics are at. I know a lot of people say the new physics kind of suck, but most of those people are just people who don't know how to do like neutral jumps and Odin jumps and zombie jumps. Which I might make a video teaching people on how to do those. I don't really think there's anything else that needs to be said. A lot of people miss OG Fall Guys. I get that. I miss when 60 players were allowed to, but honestly, I don't miss anything else. I don't miss the amount of hackers. I don't miss the ping grabbing, which... Wait, ping grabbing's still in the game today. What am I saying? Honestly, there wasn't too much to OG Fall Guys. It was just really big back then because it was a unique concept. I guess I miss the old maps because they don't show up as much anymore. The old maps were kind of nice, but Fall Guys keeps unvaulting and then revaulting them. So yeah, there's nothing else to be said. Now, something else, the third topic I wanted to talk about was the Fall Guys community today. How is the Fall Guys community today? And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, ever since Fall Guys introduced customs was probably another big advantage for them. I'm not gonna lie to you, the Fall Guys community is kind of toxic. And it's nowhere near Rocket League level toxic, like bruh. I cannot tell you how bad Rocket League is. I would literally get told to KYS and I'm a fat loser with no friends just because I could not save the ball. Fall Guys is nowhere near that bad. Fall Guys players sometimes just get mad when they get like Bluetooth grabbed. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do too. A lot. But I don't know. People like to trash talk each other, which I guess happens in every game. But there aren't really that many like toxic interactions in Fall Guys, especially not voice chat interactions because Fall Guys does not have a voice chat. And you know what? Something I want to happen in the future for Fall Guys is for Fall Guys to actually add a voice chat into public matches. Imagine 40 people with mics. That'd actually be crazy fun. For me at least. I don't know about you guys. But let's get back to what we're talking about. The most toxic part of the Fall Guys community is probably the customs players. Now, I'm not saying that all customs players are toxic, but customs, like YouTube customs, is probably the most likely place you're gonna get bullied. Like, I've seen a lot of bullying in YouTube customs. Some people come in my stream just to tell me like I suck at Fall Guys, but no one really needs to pay attention to them. What was I gonna say? I don't really think there's much else to be said besides that, like, just chill out. For those of you guys that will like trash talk other players just because you grab them or something, or for the people who spam great job every time they kill someone, like, stop it, bruv. Calm down. But it's a game. A lot of people are gonna feel some sort of like adrenaline. Alright, now the fourth thing I wanted to talk about is Fall Guys really a dead game? Because people say a lot that Fall Guys is a dead game. Is it really a dead game though? My answer to you is no. It is not a dead game at all. In fact, I think it's pretty well. Like, I know I've been saying get party animals to a lot of my friends and stuff, which are probably the only people that are going to be watching this video. I highly doubt anyone that I don't know is gonna watch this video. But yeah, Fall Guys is not as dead as people say it is. Like, there are still over 200,000 people in the Discord server, and some maps still get like up to 1 million plays. You wanna know a game that's really dead? I bet you guys are not even gonna remember this name. You guys gonna be like, oh, I completely forgot about that. A game called Kick the Buddy, which I'm glad it's dead. That game sucks anyway. Like having kids do terrible stuff to a dummy on an iPad to promote like tour. I'm not gonna say the rest of the word, but yeah, it's just terrible. But yeah, Fall Guys is not dead. And you can fight me in the comments, but I hold my opinion on that. However, there is one thing that is truly kind of dead in Fall Guys. And that is Fall Guys content. No matter where you watch Fall Guys content, if it's Twitch, YouTube, whatever. Not gonna lie, Fall Guys content in general has kind of fallen off. A lot of the Fall Guys YouTubers have quit, and all the videos are just copying the same videos that were made years ago. And that's because all ideas for Fall Guys content were practically made. The only things that you will still find being published today from Fall Guys videos are speedruns and new creative maps. I think that's really about it. The funnest thing to do in Fall Guys for me is to play YouTube customs. Also playing ranked. I love playing ranked, and I love playing in YouTube customs. For those of you out there who hate being bullied, because like I said, YouTube customs is the most likely place where you will get bullied in Fall Guys, just turn off stream chat. And hopefully you can tolerate the annoyance of people spamming great job or get slimed if you get killed by one of them. I hope that doesn't happen to you though. No one deserves to go through that annoying mess. But let's get into the last topic, which is Fall Guys still worth it? Like, is Fall Guys still worth playing? And my answer to you is yes. If you have quit the game like a long time ago, I would recommend you right now to give it another chance. And you might be asking why. Well, I have a couple reasons why. One, the new physics make it really fun to play. Again, this is for players who quit like a long time ago. I'm talking like over a year ago. Two, Fall Guys has added a lot of stuff, like their new biggest thing, which is ranked. Now, ranked did kind of bring up everyone's hopes and kind of disappoint them, but like, I think it would have been better. Like, I don't think it would have been better if they had made ranked the way I wanted it. I was expecting like a Rocket League ranked way of like skill-based matchmaking, but that would have gone wrong. So I guess for me, ranked just shows who plays the game a lot and who doesn't play the game a lot. Well, I know there are people who will play the game a lot without playing ranked. But in conclusion, Fall Guys is a game that is underrated by its players in my opinion. But this is just my opinion. Thank you guys for watching. And that is Fall Guys in 2026, explained by me. Shout out to my friends who are Fall Guys YouTubers. Go subscribe to them. They're pretty great in their content. And I will see you guys next time.